Hello, hello. Yes. Hi. Sorry about all the difficulty. Um, but we're gonna get back into the amazing performance. We still have a few pieces from Elizabeth to, enjoy. So let's give it right back up to Elizabeth. Thank you for coming here once again, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kenny. It's an honor to be a featured poet at this event, and thank you to the people that are just hanging in there, watching, supporting us. Um, I'm actually going to share two more poems, and then I'm going to close up the the end with maybe another 10 minutes of poetry um, that I was invited to share. And so this poem. I wanted to share it in solidarity with the Black communities because Black Lives Matter, and there is a strong need for unity. So I had written this poem before all the things that happened this May, the murder of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, and so many others before and after that. But I want to share it now, and then let me share this one. Scare tactics. Heads on sticks, necks on ropes, blood rains down, forced face down. Fear takes getting used to, and who is more afraid now? We know how to lose. Plant my head on a stick, pierce my mind, and hundreds of minds will grow. Put my neck on a rope, strangle my possibilities, and much more fruit will be born. Spill my blood, water the ground with it, and it will water the seeds. Force me face down without us facing off, then see your mask on my grandchildren's faces. We know how to lose. That's the only way we ever won. Our detached heads see each other. We hold up each other's broken necks. Our blood mingles underground, and our children speak the truth. The next poem I want to share, also in the same spirit. I wrote it um, before Ahmaud Arbery was murdered, but I related it to that happening, and also Breonna Taylor. It's about a man and a woman that I saw. Black gold beautiful. I saw a man running in the sun. I saw resistance. He was just exercising his existence. An inspiration, endurance and perseverance, strength wrapped up in black gold skin, generations of survival. Make a magnificent sight, exercising in the sun. It is resistance to run while beautiful. I saw a woman standing back in time. She didn't even need to move to command her surroundings. Her peace was elegance, her posture power, her head held high, a beauty, black gold skin, wrapped up her magic, generations of grandmothers, womb to womb, making beauty run through time. She glowed like the sun. Okay, that's all from me for now. So thank you very much for listening.
Yes, thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you, Diana, for sharing. I feel like there are a lot of segments, everybody in the audience can resonate with, and it was really, really wonderful to hear such powerful pieces from two wonderful women. Shout out to them, yes. So now, right now, we are now going to have our open mic part of our night, and one of the first performers is going to be Mariam, pronouns she, her, and she is going to sing and play some guitar for us.
All right. I think we had some difficulties with some of the performers coming on to join us. So we will actually start with a pre recorded video. Kiara, she, her pronouns. Um, and I will be sharing this. Hold on.
cómo ando, mi amor, por tu querer. Borracha y apasionada, no más por tu amor. Mira cómo ando, mi bien, muy dada a la borrachera y en la perdición. Tú, solo tú, has llenado de luto mi vida, abriendo una herida en mi corazón. Tú, solo tú, eres causa de todo mi llanto, de mi desencanto y desesperación.
Mira cómo ando, mujer, por tu querer.
Solo tu sombra fatal, sombra del mar, me sigue por donde quiera con obstinación. Y por quererte olvidar, me tiro a la borrachera y en la perdición. Tú, solo tú, has llenado de luto mi vida, abriendo una herida en mi corazón. Tú, solo tú, eres causa de todo mi llanto, de mi desencanto y desesperación.
Yes, give it up. I want some claps or something in the chat going for that. That was beautiful. Um, but yes, we're also gonna get into our another pre-recorded performance by Kiara. Wait, yes, Kalena. I might not be saying that right, but yes, we're gonna get into this video right here. Okay.
Hi, my name's Kalina, and I will be singing All I Ask by Adele. I will leave my heart at the door. I won't say a word. They've all been said before, you know. So why don't we just play pretend? Like we're not scared of what's coming next, or scared of having nothing left. Look, don't get me wrong, I know there is no tomorrow. All I ask is if this is my last night with you. Hold me like I'm more than just a friend. Give me a memory I can use. Take me by the hand while we do what lovers do. It matters how this ends, 'Cause what if I never love again? Thank you.
Hey, snaps. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm handing it off to Steven.
Yes, thank you for those pre-recorded performances. They were awesome. Up next, we're gonna have San Jose State's own Professor Jonathan Gomez, who's a professor for Chicana and Chicano studies, and is a local scholar and poet. So give it up.
Right on, y'all. Well, I just want to first begin by giving thanks to Mosaic and the Centro for organizing this event, for Stephen and Kenny for being our marvelous MCs, and Erica and the rest of the crew who really made this event possible. I think that Mosaic and Centro are leaders at SJSU at really demonstrating what it is to empower our students and future leaders. And so the marvelous people in both those spaces are doing fantastic work, and it's always my honor to work with both of you. So thank you very much for this opportunity. Moreover, I'm just so proud to be here with you and to be able to read a poem in the same lineup as the marvelous poets and artists that we've heard today already, especially Diana and Elizabeth, who are two people that I have the privilege to engage with on a biweekly basis as part of the Culture Counts reading series at SJSU. Before I read my poem, I want to say that in this moment of the COVID-19 and the environmental catastrophe and Black Lives Matter conjuncture, it is so important to know who we are. It's extremely important to know what we stand for. And it is even more urgent to know how we will relate to one another in mutual respect and for the broadest forms of social justice. And I think that, Culture Counts reading series is one of these spaces in which we come together and we attempt to figure out, how is it that we'll move forward in this moment, right? And so it hinges on the collective study, the collective expression of people who believe that culture counts as a vehicle to collectively move towards social justice, right? And so for students, for community members that are interested in the Culture Counts reading series, you can reach out to me. You can find me, at jonathan.d.gomez@sjsu.edu. You can Google my name, SJSU, Jonathan D. Gomez, and, reach out. Love to be in touch. Um, the piece that I'm reading today is called A Blessing para los niños del mundo. And, I want to dedicate this to, all the children who are disregarded and disrespected in our communities, right? And I think that, the sooner we realize that the young people who are the eyewitnesses to hate and hierarchy have a lot to teach us about undoing those hates, those structures of hate and hierarchy, we'll be in a better position to realize the forms of social justice and institutional deconstruction and reconstruction that we need in this society, right? So here it goes. Thank y'all for listening. Bless the child that got her own, who makes something out of nothing. Master Matadora, dodging and defying deadly conditions rushing at her in neighborhoods on the forgotten side of town. Bless all those born to disregarded races, youngsters expected to make peace with mediocrity, workers who live check to check in apartments where black mold grows just underneath the carpet. Their kids who scratch at rashes and fight forever flu-like conditions. All the people landlords choose to let cucarachas roam in their cupboards and rats nest in their walls. Bless the plastic trash bags used to carry the belongings of houseless mothers. May they not tear to pieces before it's time to pull out and lay down slabs of cardboard and cloth to pad the wretchedness of sleeping on sidewalks. Bless the children who develop looks of stone by the age of 10, crow's feet etched into the sides of their faces, a hard geography of perpetual humiliation. May they hold their heads high, building the might to look the world in its eyes. The interpreter, who translates the meaning of words on state letterhead to father's tongue, notice of action, food stamps terminated. Give them strength. The performance artist who professes to be full with having eaten only half the meal on the plate so mama can have a bite too. Give them strength. The criminalized who knows to assume the position for cops who check pockets at every encounter on the way to school. Give them strength. The dispossessed, stripped of the bed at the shelter, sitting with mama and papa on a park bench at high noon in a heat wave in the middle of a pandemic. No water for drinking or washing hands, no mask. Give them strength. The captured, wrapped in thermal mylar to avoid freezing in the Hilera, awaiting deportation to a village underlined in the company report as a site for another round of dispossession. Give them strength. And may every disregarded and hungry youth, wide eyes watching us, remember they are a blessing, far from a curse. Thank you. Thank you all very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Professor Gomez, for sharing with us. We really appreciate having you here. Um, and, giving some spotlight to the Culture Counts reading series. But next up, we are going to get back to our featured artists, Diana. She'll be coming back to share some more with us. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. As previously mentioned, I am a graduate student in the Chicana and Chicano Studies department, and my passion for Chicana and Chicano Studies revolves around its promise to connect the social sciences to culture expression, identity formation, and community empowerment. I have approached mis estudios with the desire to learn about how to engage projects of community empowerment, and I connect my work in seminars with campus activities that focus on transformative pedagogies. One of these activities in San Jose State University is the Culture Counts reading series, as Prof. Jonathan Gomez had mentioned. The CRS is a learning project that uses the story circle pedagogy to unite and empower each other and to build bridges between campus and community. While this alternative learning space is available to students to share and discuss poetry, it is also a place to encourage students to understand their education as a pathway to liberation. Through this alternative environment, I have met gente chingona, he creado amistades that challenge me and help me evolve as an individual. It is an epic space full of talento and rebeldes. I very much appreciate it because it is a space that further inspires me and my writing, and it helps me create powerful poems like my next piece entitled With Brown Regards. This is a poem that I wrote in response to the growing white supremacist sentiments in politics today, and I'll get started with this piece. Dear Trump's America, I know you like my brown skin. I know you include my brown folks. Yo sé que usted necesita nuestra piel morena. Yo sé que you don't mind gente prieta. You include brownness in the job market because you enjoy seeing coffee-colored frijoleros pouring tu cafecito por las mañanas. You like rich brown color a tierra cuando está cubierta en ella. When you need brown bodies trabajando en la pizca de fresas, harvesting fruits and vegetables del campo. You don't mind immigration contracts and guest labor programs then. You like bragging about being diverse and progressive when your institutions are inclusive of brown bodies. You're down for diversity, but first an incentive, una conveniencia. Diversification must make money. As long as my brownness produces profit, positive statistics, and a mercantile value, you won't mind brownness. You see, you need brown bodies, but you know you don't want a radically brown Nawal spirit. As long as we're upholding tradition, white representation, and as long as we don't challenge the order, white supremacy, as long as we're submissive, silent, and do as you say, I know you like gente prieta then. You like keeping, no, you need to keep the colored from being woke, from knowing, from pensandoing. You like our brain colonized, our hearts split, our spirits tamed, because when they aren't, you realize you don't like my brownness at all. Yo sé, that is why you rather incriminate raza morena than invest in morenos. But did you know it's easier, cheaper, and more affordable to keep a prieto in school than in prison? Pero ya sé que me prefieres capturada como un animal salvaje sin conocimiento. Yo sé, that is why you rather send the Silicon Valley to another place on earth than to invest money in colored youth, in brown barrios. That is why you support gentrification despite the cost of displacement. That is why you redline my credit and mi barrio. You and Hamilton said it so that banks don't recognize street credit. But did you know the value, the worth of my deposits and withdrawals? My efforts and skills acquired in la calle, my form of survival because I am brown and targeted. No, all that discredited. Yo sé, you don't like my brownness. You've tokenized my brownness. Ergo white supremacy, culturally white America. Authentically embrace my brownness. Truly love my melanin pigmentation. Siéntelo en cada una de tus células. Shut this positive talk about color blindness and color muteness. Look at me, acknowledge my brownness, because when you don't, you contribute to the next stage of appropriate racism, the new old problem of white America. I know sure as hell you don't like my brownness now. With brown regards, una mujer morena. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, whoever typed that, calling out Hamilton and calling out capitalism. That's what we need right now for sure. Um, I think we're gonna get into a one last music break before we get back into our last performance with is Elizabeth. So stay tuned, stay with us, and we'll be back. Thank you for hanging in there for our last break. Um, I am going to give it back to Steven. Yes. What's up?
Thank you for that, Kenny. Like he said before, like they said before, we're gonna have our final featured performer, and it will be Elizabeth for their second performance today. Clap it up, snap it up for Elizabeth.
Hi, everybody. All right, so I was given another 10 to 12 minutes to share some poetry with you. So I'm going to start off with a poem that is a tribute to just the diverse beauty of a woman in our community. And it's called Ode to Ghetto Girls. It's Ode to Ghetto Girls. All right. He said he didn't want a ghetto girl. We instantly looked down at our clothes and shoes, then our hands, then each other's faces. Was it the sweatpants as he claimed? He was trying to be nice. It could be pants or shoes, maybe the beautiful fake nails or lack thereof. But when we looked at each other's faces, some of us had lots of makeup and some of us had none. Some of us were better at applying it. Some had very neat, dark, sharp eyebrows, long, unapologetically unnatural lashes, dark shades of lipstick, straightened hair with highlight streaks, the mainstream beauty queen, but to the ultimate extreme, and with a different palette. And speaking of palettes, it was also in our voices, in our word choices, our expressions, vocabulary, intonation. And that came from our minds tainted by the society, tainted by the village that raised us or beat us down. Even in mockingly checking for the unwanted signs of ghetto-ness, viewing ourselves through the eyes of a boy that nobody was trying to impress, even so, we considered ghetto. But whatever ghetto can be, I'd rather be ghetto than the other extreme. I'd rather wear my body my way than the highway. But honestly, I fall somewhere in between or in a no woman's land, and I admire rebel beauty, aesthetics of community, versus blind adherence to the mainstream, beauty of the mainstream media, and I hear mainstream is code for white. So, ghetto girl, whether you look back at me from the mirror or another pair of eyes, ghetto girl, make us proud. Wear those sharpie eyebrows sharp. Dark brows under a blonde hairline got nothing on you. If those long lashes give you power to conquer the unghetto world, wear them even longer. Dazzling nails remind them of talons. Well, ghetto girls, let's not back down. Wear your big earrings, hoop earrings, no earrings. Wear your sweatpants, show those shoulders, that back that loves the sun. Their discomfort is your victory. Wear your chongo high and your chin higher. Snap those chanclas as you walk. Click those heels with ganas. Because you're going places like it's nobody's business. Because it's nobody's business. Go on, ghetto girls. Let's make each other proud. All right, my next poem is called Últimas Scars. Um, and I'll just go on and read it. Las últimas scars to fade are in the mind and DNA. Mindless traditions, repetitions are not my way. Cortaron my manos, yet they are recreating. Cosas that you've never seen, pero vas a ver, keep waiting. Cortaron my lenguas, but I grew back a few más. I'm planting a garden, scatter seeds as I pass. For each libro burned, escribo 10 más hoy. Write them with an ink they cannot destroy. Wisdom, conocimiento, on a stone engraving. That wasn't the end, no, that was the beginning. Ancestors in my sangre, whispering through my corazón, painting con manos antiguas, writing palabras con razón. My ancestors viviendo en mí son los que estás viendo. Paintings, poems, songs, and danzas in my sangre are corriendo. Demolish a city, a person, but nunca a nation. Dormidos, but waking after each assassination. Despierten my arms with a message for our gente. Despierten my feet. Images clear the mente. Wake up my minds and lenguas. Learn it, speak it, read it. Despierten my hearts. Create and grow and don't quit. Vivimos in the ruins, but our hearts are the vines. Conditioning is veneno, our creations, free minds. Right, this next one, I haven't read it anywhere yet. It's called My Brown, Black, Red Body. When I got my brown, black, red body, it came with a story that I was the last to hear. Your words don't sting my pride, but they dampen the view. Terrorists pointing the finger at those with empty hands and brown skin. Write genocidal manifestos and carry them out, making others cower at the sight of tattoos and rags, and the rich in numbers and power and papers, pointing the finger at the paperless and numberless, sending their children to the streets for tattoos and rags. But we won't go, say we won't go. Work harder, do more, but when will I sleep? Do better, help yourself, but will you get mad when I succeed? Judge my lateness, but count your failures. Judge my grammar, but where are your manners? Why do I hide from the world? Because people make my heart sad, driving like some minutes are worth more than a life. Minutes you spend watching TV, and I judge you while you judge me. Her hard heart scares me, his lack of heart terrifies me. Terrifies, disgusts, and saddens me. And now I know why there were death camps and relocations and reculturalization, genocide and kidnapped children kept in cages. Did I say where? I meant are. People in cages for being cruel, others in cages for being hungry, others in cages for being sad and alone, others in cages for being brown, black, red. But the people who caged them roam free, having done much worse and for worse reasons. When will they pay their dues? Now they call relocation gentrification, and people are deported from their homeland. Reculturalization is called education, and when you're hungry, you don't care about reading. My ancestors were abused and enslaved and maimed, raped and murdered and brainwashed. You call it a mission, a discovery, progress. My brown, black, red self calls it terrorism. But now we can be friends, I guess, after you burned my feet and they regrew. You cut out my tongue, but I replaced it. You buried my ancestors, scattered their bones, scattered their art, burned their books, watered the ground with their tears. But look what grew out of that mound. While you cry for property values, I cry for justice. And while you argue for the middle class, I will love the hungry, the sad, and the unloved. You can point the finger at those who sell their bodies, but what if we pointed at you for selling your soul? You rape and call it molesting, molest and blame the victim, condemn heresy and sex, but who is really blaspheming and molesting? Putting words in God's mouth, teaching tradition over truth. You preach to the poor, but let their oppressors take a shortcut to the bottom. Nice show, but your friends are showing, so we know whose side you're on, but we don't know where you're going. So my hands write the words, and some will feel what is written in the spaces in between. I paint the love we never had, hoping to bring it to creation. Let's make things that never existed. And if I pointed my finger at you, would you look at yourself, or laugh, or get mad, or call me crazy? So I point into the mirror, see a neat, ordered disaster, beautiful chaos, and I see the world. Everyone does their best. The details are ugly, but existence is beautiful. And we all make bad choices, and I still love you. All right, the next one is called A Woman Fearless. It's also about women's rights, women's power. A woman fearless is powerful because she's faced her fears and overcome. Why do you fear sharing the power? Would we treat you as you've treated us? A brown, black, red people, fearless, appear demanding. When demanding their share of power, the others recoil, throw a fit, wanting to keep forever the treasures and privileges begotten criminally by generations past. Why do you fear sharing the power? Will it leave you with only your fair share? A brown, black, red woman, fearless, powerful. I met when upon entering this world, she first appeared in a womb generations before, far across the borders of space and time. She can rule with a gentle, subtle power. She can rule like flint, water, and wind. Do you fear woman, Mother Earth, the womb that first held power over you? Woman fearless begins a new world with her walk, a wink, a wish, a whisper. Woman fearless has overcome and is standing before you everywhere you look, demanding you face your fears. All right. Thank you for hanging in there. I have a couple more poems to share with you tonight. This next one is called Tacos de Lenguas. Tacos de lengua, she force fed me, and now I can waggle my double-edged tongue right back, a flinty, sparky weapon, electric currents right into my pen, writing to you words held in for 500 years, from the genes in my blood to the genes that spill my blood. Y aquí, en este banquete de tacos y tacos de lengua, una gran reunión de pedernal, fuego, sangre, historia. Here I speak words that burn, that spark, fires that spread, fires that burn, bonfires, fires that burn out, fires that leave ashes, ashes to cover my body, ashes to weep in, creating rivers of ink that tattoo the body, that tattoo the soul, ashes to fertilize the roots, roots and ashes find other roots, roots that move, roots that shake, roots that rattle the ground, a ground of ashes under which lie bones, bones that won't lie still. I saw them rise and connect. I saw the skeleton come together. Dancing skeleton, dancing with the corn plant, Madre Maíz, and neither had roots. Holding hands, no triangle, a circle. Cycling, spinning, up into the air. Chose to stay here, return to the earth, feet on the ground, roots in the earth, roots in the ashes, on the bones that won't lie still. Rising from the ashes, rise from the ashes. I rose from the ashes. Ashes to ashes, ashes on my forehead, ashes in a cross burned to ashes. They painted on my nopal, and I'm going to strike this lengua on another. Ay, que chispa. Ashes, ashes, but I refuse to fall down, even when I'm 6 feet underground. And mira, como le hago. I am a lengua that you label me with. I am my thoughts that I nodded to. I am the palabras you all shoved in my mouth, but I spit them out in a different order, and I order them to emerge, spill in chispas, run in ashes and tears, and from there, where my 2 brown feet are planted, emerges a Quetzali phoenix with a long coiled body that rises into the air, feathers, maíz, and white flowers, que llueva, into rivers and lakes and underground, into oceans and humidity, sips of lágrimas to lágrimas, tears to tears, que llueva, and may the plants grow strong. Okay, so to end the night, if I believe this will be the last um, poem for tonight, I wanted to read this one. It has references to certain spirituality that I grew up with. It's called Bless Me Mother, for I've seen sins. Bless me, Mother, for I've seen sins. I've looked racism in the face and kissed it, lips parted, to suck out poisoned breath, bury it in the earth, neutralize it, trying to resuscitate with a bolt of electricity. But I was electrocuted. It was a shock, and still I feel the aftershocks. Bless me, Mother, for I've eaten sins, the ones crammed into my mouth, oaths and pacts made to things of this world, not of our world. The ones crammed in through my ears were swallowed by my brain until I couldn't remember you or me, and I've never managed to spit them all out, and still I rinse my mouth. Bless me, Mother, for I've been sinned, my body pulled from the ribs of a man where I was attached against my will, my womb from which man emerges, sterilized with tubes tied, roots tangled in a knot, and he still won't let me be. I want to be free, and still I struggle. Bless me, Mother, because I couldn't be, but now I am, because I forgot you and have remembered, because I was shocked, but now can shock. And I forgive you, for the name of the Father, the Son, and the clean Spirit, Be in peace, child, flower, mother, father, and roots. Okay, thank you very much for being here and listening.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Give it up in the chat. I want some snaps here, some claps, some hearts. I'm seeing a bunch of that, so keep it coming. Um, well, Steve, how you feel?
So I feel good. I want to take this moment to thank Elizabeth, thank Liana, thank everybody that sent in the pre-recorded performances, and thank you especially to the audience. It's great to see this community that we built, and I know for the artists, they love hearing those reaffirmations. You know, it really lets them know that lets us know that what we're doing here is important. It is significant. It is something that we need to keep doing. Um, Thank you to everybody that was watching through the live stream. The open mic is part of the Latinx Heritage Month, and to find out what more events we have coming up this month, follow our Instagram at centro_SKSU. And one of the events that we do have coming up is October 14th, which is next week. And it will be a student and professor connection event. It's just come talk to professors, get to know them a little better, help break down some of that intimidation students may have with trying to reach out.
Yes, thank you so much, Stephen, for joining me and co-hosting with me. It's always better to co-host with somebody else. Um, and to find out about all the upcoming Mosaic events happening, you can go to our Instagram, it's at SJSU Mosaic. Yes, SJSU MOSAIC. Thank you so much to the Student Union. And for all their upcoming events, just go to Student Union SJSU. I'm not gonna spell all that out because I'm gonna mess up. But and also thank you to Culture Counts Reading Series for partnering with us. We really appreciate y'all. Yes. And yeah, our next open mic is gonna be November 12th. At 6 p.m. It is our Native American Heritage Month open mic, I'm pretty sure. So look out for that. And keep an eye on the Instagram to make sure you know when to sign up for performances because we want to see y'all. So with anything said, anything else, any uh, more updates, I think we're good. Thank you so much, everybody. Hope to see you again soon. Uh, cool. Thank you so much. Mm-mm-mm.